Hello everyone, welcome back with me Grace, and today I'm going to present to you about explanation text again, but this time it's for my practical exam. So without any further ado, let's get to the topic number 1. The first one, we're going to talk about definition. What is the definition of explanation text? Definition of the explanation text is a text which tells processes relating to forming of natural, social, scientific, and cultural phenomena. So if you guys want to know more about what something could be happen, etc., you just can read explanation text. There are a bunch of explanation in there, and we'll answer your question, of course. Next one, we got the structure. There are 3 structure of explanation text. The first one, there is general statement. General statement contains an introduction to topics such as explanations about general information. Of course, before we want to talk more about the topic, we must give a brief information or like introduction about what the topic will be explained later. And the next one, we got sequence explanation. This section contains a series of processes about how and why something happens, or causes and effects, which are explained through a sequence of events. Of course, this part is the longest one above these 3 because there are, as I said before, a bunch of explanations, and of course we'll answer your question. And the last but not least is closing or concluding, which contains conclusions from the entire process that has been explained previously. And after the structure, we going to talk about the language feature. The first one, there is using generalized non-human participants or nouns. Let's see, nouns that often appear in English explanatory text. For example, water, kite, frog, flood, and others. For example, let's take a look. Chocolate is taken from a tree called cocoa tree. The non-human participants or the nouns is, of course, the chocolate. Next, there's using chronological conjunction or time and causes and effect. For example, first, then, following, finally, if, then, so, as a consequence, since, therefore, after that, because, after, eventually, or so, the consequences, etc. For example, the next process is winnowing. Of course, the chronological conjunction or time is the next part. And next we got using action verbs. Examples of action verbs are run, jump, think, kick, and others. For the simpler explanation about this is something activity that we can solve or we just can do it, like, you know what I mean, right? Okay, let's just take a look to the example. This tree grows in equatorial regions, especially in places such as South America, Africa, and Indonesia. And the action verb 1 is grows. Next we got using passive voice. Passive voice, namely sentences to show objects that experience an action, not make the action. So for the simpler explanation about passive voice is that we usually use the subject first and then the object, but in the passive voice form, we more highlight the object rather than the subject. Let's take a look to the example. Next, the beans are fermented for about a week, dried in the sun. The passive voice form is the beans are fermented. Next, we got using present tense to explain how and why something happened. The formula is subject plus verb 1 using as/es or to be plus object. For example, the chocolate makers work by roasting the beans to bring out the flavor. And the present tense form is the chocolate maker's work. And next we got using technical terms. Technical terms related to the phenomenon being discussed. For example, climate, gravity, botany, etc. And in short, technical terms is that the word or vocabulary that we haven't heard before, or just like using scientific terms. And next we got types of explanation text. There are 4 types. The first one is sequential. Explain the process of change of a natural or social phenomenon, which will be discussed in detail. For example, butterfly life cycle. Next, we got causal. Details what causes the change from one stage to the next. For example, how a president is elected. Next, we got theoretical. Details the possible phenomena behind a natural or created process that is not fully understood. For example, what caused the Nazis to lose World War II? And last but not least, we got factorial and consequential. Explain effects and outcomes of processes. For example, science explains the causes of climate change. Okay, so my teacher asked us to explain. So this is like the example of explanation text, but we are using 4 pictures. So for the first picture is in Indonesia, the angklung is a unique and melodious musical instrument. Bamboo was used in the making of this instrument, which is considered a cultural treasure because of its enchanting sound and harmony. More than 1,000 years of history can be found in the angklung's history in Indonesian culture. Traditionally, it has been part of traditions and ceremonies of the Sundanese people of West Java. A variety of bamboo tubes are carefully selected to make angklung. Each tube produces a specific note or pitch. Tuning and carving the tubes produce a pentatonic scale. A wooden frame is used to suspend the tubes, usually in a row or multiple rows. And then the tubes are shaken to produce sound. Angklung is a fascinating musical instrument representing Indonesia's rich cultural heritage, designed from bamboo and played in harmony by musicians. It reflects the artistic and cultural traditions of the country. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope my explanation can help you guys out for knowing more about explanation text, and I hope you guys have a great day, and I see you on the next one. Bye!